All right, this is your market recap for October 8th, 2025. As you can see today, we played bullish. The reason for that, we kind of just really expanded throughout all of New York session. If we go down to the hourly time frame, you can see here we have this higher time frame SMT of lows, which gets us to stop reversing here. We then enter this accumulation right here, and what comes after accumulation is expansion. And the reason why we know this is going to expand upwards is because of this SMT right there. Now, market opened and we ripped up and continued going and going and going. So if we go down to the 15-minute, we can see here we had two medium time frame SMTs here. One of these lows, which started that move, which stopped this reversal down there, and then we had this medium one, which kind of got everything going. Market opened, ES was going down, NQ was going up. Again, SMT of this low kind of kicked things into high gear, I'll say, really. And then market expanded, retraced for the 11 o'clock macro into this 15-minute fair value gap there, and continued expanding there. We can see here, just because I'm curious, probably like 30% retrace on that one, 30% retrace on that one, and then fully to equilibrium on that one. And of course here, this is all-time highs, so we are also at all-time highs once again. Not much more than that, really. We had, again, two SMTs of lows. In fact, let me pull up ES. You can see here for the first couple minutes, ES was trailing downwards. All right, this was that SMT there. The first lower time frame one. The second was this one here. So market open, instead of rallying upwards, it rallied downwards, which I'm not going to be, I'm not going to lie, that threw me off. Usually SMTs happen just in a discrepancy in volume, not really a complete direction. But in a way, if market has been consolidating for what, 240 times 5, 1,000 minutes, I'm not even going to try to do that math. But, oh no, I'm stuck trying to do the math. 244 hours times 5, 20 hours. That's not right. Maybe it is. 20 hours of consolidation, we'll say. What we needed was the next event to get us out, right? And in that case, boom, was market open. So we had this SMT. Although we did have this discrepancy, I kind of wanted to wait for FOMC, but market had other plans. As you can see, there's that SMT. So if we go back to the MNQ, SMT there again, market opened, expanded right off the bat, and never really came down. Again, tiny retrace here, tiny retrace here, tiny retrace here. FOMC here kind of rounded us, causing us to retrace, but then this last hour macro, well, 250 macro, expanded up pretty high actually, given everything. Yeah. So today was a really big expansion day. If we take simply just market time, we had 260 handles, which is quite large. Yeah, on the 1 minute time frame, not much more. Unfortunately, no SMT on the lower time frame we could have taken there. Also was waiting for the macro. There was one here, but like I said, waiting for the macro. It's also 944, too close to the macro for my liking. No SMT during this macro. SMT of these highs caused this retrace into this 15-minute. No SMT of these lows. This could have been a good trade too. Long, taking out all-time highs. Here is FOMC. FOMC came out at 2, started to rally a little bit, got stuck here, and then started to fall right there. If we grade this, I did it on the 15-minute as you saw. If we grade this, equilibrium is this orange line right there. Perfectly hit it. Equilibrium is at 65.75, and the low of this candle is at 65.50. Perfectly one tick where it needs to be. Higher time from SMT there, lower time from SMT within that macro after hitting equilibrium. This is a great trade in my opinion. So 15-second, one up, down, up. I'm assuming. Boom, same thing there. Let's say we'll just change the state of delivery there. Stop below that. We can target this, right? That would have been just fine in my opinion, targeting these highs. But if you were really trying to get fancy with it, pull up the fib, do a -1 expansion. Boom, there you go. It's a 1 to 8.6. After that much expansion, do I really think we're going to expand that much? No. Which is why personally I'd only do 25, right? That would be it. But that's just personally trade of the day in my opinion, right? Would have taken this, but unfortunately I was in class, which is kind of a bummer. But I also don't really usually trade PM session, but FOMC might be a reason too, because the past two of this month and last month, they banged. So now going into the future, we have Powell speaking tomorrow morning at 8:45. We have tentative some other news, but that's probably not going to come out because the government shut down. And then Friday we have news as well. So given that we expanded this high, I'm looking for somewhat of a retrace. Retrace to at least this high. Now I'm not playing a support and demand by any means, or I guess it would be supply and demand, support and resistance. But I don't think we're going to retrace farther than that. I find it hard to believe that we would. So equilibrium's too far for my liking. If we just come down to that, I'd be happy to play that. It looks like, and I'm not trying to jinx anything, it looks like we're out of this consolidation we were in. So a retrace to this, maybe some wicks stuck into it, but not much more than that would be delightful. Yeah, if price consolidates up here, I'm going to play short to reach this. But if we retrace, I'm going to play bullish, accounting for this down here. So really we will see between now and then, like always, what's going to happen before we say anything concrete. But that's just what I'm looking for. I think we're going to continue to expand. So it's been your market recap for October 8th, 2025.